Okay, it's going to be a commentary for chapter 62 of my book, Metadimensional, which you can find on Kindle or listen to for free as an audiobook, and the links are in the description. So chapter 62 is called Because It's Necessary. And it's an answer to the end of the chapter before it, Limbo, which is, if considering all the bad things that can happen because of if the theory is misunderstood, or if it's used in a bad way, or if we don't really understand the consequences of it. And considering maybe it's best to just suppress it, just not let anyone know. And maybe that's better, because as it seems like that in the biblical times they kind of understood the theory. That was in the chapter Biblical. And if you think about what we know about in science and quantum field theory, the observer effect, superposition, it seems like the understandings of this theory, like what this theory claims, would be a really easy step to make from what we know about physics. And it hasn't been made, which kind of suggests at least the possibility that it has been made, and people decided that it's better not to go that route. So why don't we just not go that route? Okay, you know this theory, let's just pretend we didn't hear this and carry on. Why not do that? And the answer is because it's necessary. Now, what do I mean? What's necessary about it? Well, first, there are some things that, this theory, like, I said that there's a problem of moral depravity because of the theory. It could be, because you might mistreat people based on assumptions regarding the misguided or even guided assumptions regarding what they actually are and what is okay for you to do, considering morality doesn't come from anything bigger than yourself and things like that. But then you have think about the notion of death. How much people do, perhaps irrationally, because they believe that all they have, the existence ends at the day of death, which according to the theory is not true. Experience never ends. Memories end. Memories end all the time. Like, you lose the memories from your dreams. You lose your memories from wakeful life. When you go into a dream, you lose your memories. If you drink too much, blackout. Yada yada. There's but the experience of being never ends. So this can relax a lot of tension that people feel. Like this thing. Let's go back to the climate change or war or whatever. The end of everything. There is no end of everything. There cannot be, so we can relax. And then, when we live in reality where we think everything is bound by the laws of nature, and then we see someone who has an advantage, then we say, it's better than the rest. We say they're just better than the rest. That's it. I can't find the benefit in anything better in their biology. But what about the private blind gap? What about what if you know that there are some other ways of gaining advantage, and if someone is using it, shouldn't they be taxed for it? Not exactly as a tax, but I mean, shouldn't there be some kind of a, if you use the private blind gap, then you should be treated as someone who's using it. If you don't, you should be treated as someone who doesn't. And if you you get a long life because if you use the private blind gap, do you deserve the same rights or the same benefits as someone who doesn't or can't? When we think about equality, we think about equality, physical equality. What about public blind gap physical equality? What about the private blind gap equality? And it kind of matters, but let's say, okay, you say all of that is this is too much this is all too speculative. It's still not a good reason. Well, think about this. If the theory is true, then there is no objective truth, like a semantic objective truth. There is no like one story that is more correct than the rest. There is the substrate of reality, which is like experience reflecting on the objective substrate. That's objectively true according to the theory. That's what, but that has no semantics. There's no story there. It's just like that just how things are organized. So it's not like there is an inherent goodness to, I don't know, to helping old ladies cross the street. There is, I mean, but there is no inherent goodness. The same way there is no morality doesn't carry over into dreams and out. Not necessarily. So there is no objective truth. And then look at what we have in reality. We have like decent people, yeah, decent people. They believe in an objective truth. They believe that the truth will protect them, and then you realize that that's not true. That the people that are good at persuasion, the people that are good at conning other people, at manipulating other people, they have the metaphysics on their hand. Scientists who the only thing that they know how to do is to manipulate their peers and suppress their peers. They have the metaphysical advantage, and they can make their theories true, even though they weren't, even though they are lousy at their job, that they're just good at persuasion. And we know, knowing this theory, wouldn't you prefer that the people that are more decent, that are more principled, be win, and not the manipulators? I mean, isn't that a reality you prefer to live in? Do you want to live in and let reality continue to fall and become one where only the dishonest, the traitors, the betrayers, only they win? Is that where the reality you want? Like, this theory shows what they're doing, and you cannot give them like free leeway to do whatever they want anymore. There is a cost to we want to have freedom of speech, freedom of everything, and I support that. But if someone is manipulating it, the metaphysics will be on their side, so you can't let that happen. Or do you want to let that happen just because you're not willing to accept the theory? Now, there were tools to prevent it that didn't require the theory. These were science and religion. And you could say, just let them handle it. But guess what? They don't work anymore. Yes, we use science to build technology and all that stuff. But as a society, Western society, we don't trust it anymore. I think it's a self-inflicted wound starting from quantum field theory. I think maybe it's a reaction to the World War II and the development of the atomic bomb. I don't know. But science dropped the ball. You cannot believe it. You cannot believe it anymore. And look at how people react to to vaccines, all that stuff. That's just a side effect of it. Religions, people don't really take religion seriously, and those that do, there's more and more religious trends that are just murderous, and they're not really like a way to preserve this reality. They are a way to destroy it in hope of a new reality that would take its place. And what that is, that we are, if we don't embrace this theory, then we might end up in the Dark Ages. Lose all the gains we made through science, lose all the moral gains we did through the evolution of religion, and go back to that. Do you want that? I don't. And so maybe it's not the best theory. Maybe it needs to be refined, but it's still necessary.